But I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. I'm looking out and seeing a great group with us this morning. I'm going to go through the typical announcements and calendar highlights and health update that I like to do here in our virtual time together. And then I'm looking out and I'm happy to see that Naseem Hessler and Danielle Aberman are here with us, and they will spend a little bit of time telling us about the Parents Association. So let me just jump in. First of all, a few announcements to get us started. A warm welcome to Nurse Andrea Palmer and to our new Director of College Counseling, Kathleen Bracken. We're very happy to have both of these colleagues join us here in January. Nurse Andrea Palmer is getting quite an introduction to public health concerns here at the Pine School, but she is jumping in and just wrapping her arms around the entirety of the job like a champ. With Miss Bracken, we were actually fortunate enough to have her join us back in August for our pre-planning week. She did that before going back up to upstate New York excuse me, I guess not really upstate, the Albany area in New York, to finish out her time at her school she'd been at for a while, but she's very happy to be here now. And I know that our upper school students are enjoying meeting her. Mrs. Pacifico has done such a tremendous service to the school as the Pine School launched its high school and sent its early graduates and recent graduates on into college. I'm pausing to let people into the meeting. Excuse me for that. And we definitely want to celebrate Miss Pacifico as she retires. She'll stay connected with the school through the spring to see our class of 2022 through their college decision-making process. But on January 14th, we are going to celebrate her. I don't want to give too much away about the surprises we have planned for that day, but we really look forward to honoring a wonderful, wonderful career that Miss Pacifico's had here at the Pine School. Just a little bit of a heads up, I'm excited to say that construction will restart on our new building. Those of you who drop off on the South Car line might have seen some of the action starting already. The big identifier will be the construction fence. That'll go up next week. I also want to offer assurance to you. Some of you are new to the school since we began this construction project. We do quite a bit of due diligence in terms of background checks for all of the people who come onto our campus. They are background checked and badged so that we can make sure that we have people on this campus. We would be comfortable working at a school. However, the work that's to be done will be, for the very, very most part, internal in that building, and I don't anticipate we'll see really much engagement with anyone working on that project outside of the fenced area. The fence will serve as a way to keep students out. I know many of them are curious about the building, so that will be a nice barrier for them, but also to separate out that construction. I wanted to tell you that today, later in the afternoon, you should see a letter come from me that will give you information about next year's tuition. And I also want to remind you, you might have remembered hearing this a little bit earlier in the school year. We are moving our deposit month up to February. In the past, it has been March, but just because of a few places where we're tight in some grades, we're just eager to get some information about re-enrollment and get a month ahead in our planning. Want to make sure that the school is staffed appropriately for the students we welcome onto our campus in fall 2022. I also want to give a shout out and a little Go Knights chant here to our winter athletes. We're wrapping up our winter sports season here in the next couple weeks with middle school, but also we'll move into postseason play for varsity basketball and soccer. They're having some great success. So I would encourage you to find an opportunity to come watch our teams if you haven't already. And then to tie some of those announcements into upcoming dates, tomorrow, just a little FYI, this really would not affect anyone who is already enrolled at the Pine School, but we do have our Pine Scholarship testing day for outside students. We also have quite a few students who will be here taking another standardized test, something they've registered for externally to the Pine School. So if you are coming on campus tomorrow, just know that you'll see quite a few folks floating around. For our students here, we're going to offer some in-house testing on Tuesday. So We will have the PSAT 8-9. That'll be administered to both our 8th and ninth graders. And then we've also arranged a practice ACT for our 11th grade students. Students, as they go through the college process, they more often than not want to have a standardized test score. And so we like to help them decide whether or not they want to focus on the ACT or the SAT for that testing. Just another little piece of information. So some of you who have been at the Pine School a little longer might know that our last strategic plan ran from 2016 to 2021. So we are poised to create our next strategic plan. That is definitely the work of the Board of Trustees. We count on them for their visioning and the long-term success and sustainability of the Pine School. So our board will kick off that next phase of strategic planning here in just a week, and I'm happy to join them in leading the school in that way. As I mentioned, on the 14th, Friday the 14th, we'll have Janet Pacifico Day. We're very excited to just load her up with all of our love and gratitude. She really has just done so much for the school through her time here. On the 15th, on Saturday, we will enjoy 100 Years of Cars. This is the 15th year that car show has run, so quite a nice event that we've been hosting for a number of years. And I hope that many of you will come out and be with us on that day. We've got many cars registered already, and also some fun activities planned. It's a great family event to come to. On the 17th, that's a Monday, we will be closed to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then on the 18th at 9:30, we'll have our honors assembly for middle and upper school students. And then also a little way to celebrate our winter athletes on the 18th and 19th after school. So we've got soccer games one day, I think on the 18th, and then home basketball games on the 19th. We are going to organize our student body and have a white out. We've got some white shirts for winter sports they can purchase if they want to, but also going to have senior night for our athletes on those days. So would love to see you all come out and cheer us on. We have a little bit of a lull there at the end of January. That is when we will transition from postseason play in winter and start some of our spring sports. Hopefully you receive some notices about spring sports sign up here this week as we've opened. We'll have our next virtual coffee on the 4th of February. I anticipate we'll have some information about off-campus education week and anything organizationally we still need to discuss with parents. We'll focus on that then. And then on the 5th, the first Saturday in February, we'll have our kindergarten readiness day. So a lot coming up for us as we kick off our spring semester. Okay, let's go now to a little bit of, just a check-in here about how we find the situation with COVID on this campus and how we're navigating that. So I guess just, full disclosure, it's a little overwhelming. We have a lot of students who are ill right now. Fortunately, not too many who are very ill, and that is definitely a relief. I can't even tell you how much I want this community to remain as healthy as possible. But we have a large number of students already on campus positive for COVID. And again, to remind you, when we come off of a break, that's not something that's necessarily happened on this campus. That really has to do with families and where they've been over the winter break and people they might have come into contact with. I myself contracted COVID up in Atlanta visiting relatives over Christmas, and I'm recovered. I've tested negative. I'm feeling good, but it is something that I think a lot of people, even those who made the choice to get vaccinated, they're catching it, and it is really pervasive in our community. In this area, I'm hearing from parents that it's very challenging to get tested quickly. Thank you to a few parents who have let me know some great options. They found both like a tele-testing resource and a couple places here pretty close in Hobe Sound that are available. But it is tough to do that. It's also tough to get those results back in a timely way. And so when we think about our desire at Pine to follow up and do contact tracing and alert families, if their students have been in close contact with someone with COVID, it is not a process that is easy to manage, and really not something that we're effectively able to do right now. We have had both of our nurses here in our clinic for the entirety of this week. Lori Roush has been on deck to train Andrea Palmer, but the two of them have been reaching out to a lot of parents, offering health guidance when necessary, and then also just following up on the typical day-to-day nursing duties here at any school, bumps and bruises, and other kids who come in just to get daily care. So they've been busy. They've been very busy. As I listen to the news and read articles, I definitely understand that asymptomatic healthy people are being discouraged from getting tested. And the other thing that has become obvious to me and the nurses, just as families communicate with what they've navigated in their own families health-wise, getting COVID tested too soon after exposure, it's not effective. I've got plenty of stories of people who are sick and they took a test and they were negative, and then they took another one and they were positive. And it doesn't seem like we're getting the clear information from those rapid tests that we might have with the more recent surge in COVID. And again, that PCR testing, it's hard to come by, and it's not turning around very quickly. And so, I think what I'm wanting to do is really clarify what we as a school can promise to you in terms of public health. I don't want anyone, being misguided by what it is we are able to navigate and take on, both due to staffing and also due to some external factors that are affecting everyone as our community navigates this surge in COVID cases. And so, while we have in the past required a rapid test for students who've been close contacts to return to school, the nurses and I are not going to do that anymore, both because we don't want healthy kids taking up tests that other people who are sick could perhaps take, and also don't want to be unrealistic in our promise to parents about what we are able to manage here. So just know that we will continue to communicate with you as we can if your child is a close contact or in class with someone who has COVID. But unless there's some significant change over the coming days, I would offer to each and every one of you, it's worth your assuming that your child is probably attending school and in class with someone who's carrying COVID. They could be asymptomatic. They could have, very mild symptoms, and they're not even aware of having COVID. It could be that they're in class with someone and the next day that youngster is out and pretty sick. I think we're really seeing it all. So what I'm turning to families to do is to say, this is the time for you to use your own best judgment and to do what you can personally in support of community health. So I will go here now and look at some of the things that I've been asking for all along. Please go through a daily health check with your children, even if they, are just like kind of lethargic, maybe their throat's a little scratchy, they're sniffly. We would really appreciate it if you would keep them at home and watch them for a day or two. On our part, we'll do everything we can for middle and upper school students to be able to access Google Meet and attend virtually if they're healthy enough to do that. In lower school, we can provide work so kids can stay current and still check in with teachers. But really, doing everything you can to keep those sick kids at home. Our nurses have been, evaluating children here at school who come to them not feeling well, and they're definitely, having them go home when it's necessary. They are depending on the ailment, the symptoms. Our nurses could ask for a follow-up visit to a healthcare provider or a negative COVID test to return to school. What we're also working with, in our clinic is the new guidance that, we've seen come out of late, changing that required isolation time from 10 days to 5 days, depending on symptoms and dissipation. Also some different guidance about who needs to quarantine and who doesn't, depending on who's been vaccinated and who hasn't. I think that observation wise, we see a lot of people who chose to get vaccinated still, still getting COVID and getting a little sick from it. I've got to hope that maybe it's a milder round for them, but not a huge amount of difference in terms of picking up COVID with a vaccine, especially one you've gotten some months ago. I still really need families to self-report students, who have COVID-19 to the school. It helps us follow up and it just alert other families about what their child might have been exposed to on campus. And it also lets us really support our teachers. When I think about everything we're navigating right now, I still am just so grateful to our faculty and staff who are showing up to teach. 2 years into this pandemic, if there's nothing else that is affirmed for me, it's that children learn best in person. They truly do, especially for a school like Pine that has, a mission so dedicated to the unique learning environment we strive to create on this campus. And so could not be more proud of my colleagues who are turning up to keep campus open and to offer in-person instruction. I would say a little reminder again, if anyone in a family is waiting for a COVID-19 test, everyone needs to wait at home. So, if you've got an adult who's taking a test, a child who's taking a test, please don't send any members of that family to school. And that really has to do with, if you're living in the same home, it's very, very likely that you've been in close contact with each other. And so just want you to have that health information for your family before we then work with you about what would make sense for a return to school. The other thing that I'll put a plug in here for is that you please consider having your child wear a mask to school. That still continues to be medical advice we get from the CDC and other organizations about how to mitigate the spread of COVID. Again, back to the faculty, as I look around and, see who we have on hand to offer the excellent instruction we pride ourselves in providing. I really am counting on our faculty to stay healthy. And so, speaking to your child about perhaps something they're going to do to make sure others around them remain healthy, focusing on, hand washing, other things they can do to prevent the spread of germs, I would just really appreciate it. We're sort of taking it day by day here at the Pine School, and really, really hoping that we don't see any disruption in school-wide learning because of COVID. But certainly, if we get into a significant staffing crunch, it could come to that. So just want to kind of lay it all out there for you. We are navigating it as we can. I think that that is going to be it for me. I know it's awfully tempting to come off mute and to ask questions and to have a conversation. I think this is a very difficult format in which to do that. I want you all to know that you're welcome to call me, welcome to have a follow-up conversation if there's anything I've said here that you've got questions about. So glad to discuss that with you. But I am going to just move us along in our program and turn it over now to Nasim Hessler, our PA president, and Danielle Aberman, our PA president-elect. And I'm going to come off my presentation here and get back ready for them. Before I officially turn off the microphone, I want to just personally give a big shout out to the PA. I can't even tell you how many faculty and staff have mentioned to me, John Boyer, Jessica Sines, just how grateful they are for the love they're feeling from the Parents Association this year. I know that Nasim and Danielle will tell us more about that, but I'm wearing my new fleece jacket that was a gift from the Parents Association. It's so nice to have this gift here in our slightly cooler time in Florida. It's beautiful, and just thank you for the way that you've been supporting and caring for our faculty and staff. So have at it, Danielle and Nasim. I'm going to mute myself.
Hi, good morning. I'm Nasim Hessler, and my husband Matt and I have Roxy in the 5th grade. So this year I am serving as the president of the PA, and our main goals for the PA are to show all of our teachers and staff our appreciation in meaningful ways. So I'm glad to see those coats came through. Those are very cool and nice. And our other goal is to just build community for the Pine School parents. So in that effort, the things that the PA does. It's kind of a list. With the development office, we either sponsor or organize these things: the welcome back reception, the used uniform sale, the night of celebration and auction, the Hugs and Helping Hands Committee, which does the specific teacher appreciation things, the Campus Decorating Committee, which I want to thank for putting, all the festive things out and taking them down and going to all of that effort. That's greatly appreciated. The car show, as Benny mentioned, is next Saturday, and that is a really fun event. There will be lots of things for kids to do and food trucks, and the car show actually sponsors a scholarship, and I'll talk about that again later. The golf tournament in the spring, the night fund and give day, the book fair, the new family ambassadors, which is really important, I think, for new families to have someone to connect with and feel welcomed, and for the kids to have someone that they can talk to. So that's a big one. The school store, that's all parent volunteers in the morning that open that up. So that's very appreciated. Grandparents' Day and the spring musical productions. Parents help the directors with all of their decorating and stage design and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved. It's a great way to meet other parents that you might not meet because you're not in the same grade. So I would really encourage everyone to, ask me, Danielle, the development office, if you have an hour or more, so that you can get involved and be a part of that. And with that, I'll turn it over to Danielle because she's been very active with the Hugs and Helping Hands Committee, and they do a lot of activities.
Thank you, Nasim. I'm Danielle Aberman. My husband, Harold, and I share this role together. We have a daughter in 7th grade named Harper. I think the Hugs and Helping Hands part is one of the most fun aspects of the Parents Association, because this is where we get to show the love for our teachers. And it's also a really great opportunity for more of the parents to connect. I think everybody will admit that there have been a lot of challenges to parents connecting over the past, I guess now we're in year 3 of this. So we continue to have those challenges, even though we thought they were going away. But I do want to mention the 3 main activities that Hugs and Helping Hands have been doing this past semester. Probably one that's keeping the development office the most busy is the fact that we bought a refrigerator for the teachers, a refreshment refrigerator for the teachers, and that gets stocked maybe every day with all different refreshments, and the teachers have really been taking advantage of, having some nice sparkling waters or whatever's on sale at Publix has been put into the refrigerator to keep them refreshed through the day. So I think that's been a big hit and very much appreciated. The second thing that we did was we asked the teachers what holiday pies they would like. And we ordered the specific pies that they wanted, and we're able to help kick off the holiday season for them with nice packaging and bows on them. So I think that was also very appreciated. And the third activity that we sponsored was giving them gift certificates to get their car washed. You may have noticed there's a car wash directly across the street from the Pine School. So we were able to work out a very nice deal with that car wash to give gift certificates for the teachers. And it was very well utilized. I think if not every teacher, almost every teacher and staff member was able to go over and get their car washed. So they really liked that one too. This current semester, we have 4 events or 4 activities. As Benny mentioned, she's wearing a nice jacket, and I think Mrs. Carlino, you're wearing your jacket too. Yes, that's great. They're very nice jackets. When the teachers were being fitted for them, I should say teachers and staff, they were reportedly, walking with a little bit more pep in their step that day because they were excited to have such a nice gift. So that's the first item of the semester. Other things that we have planned are to have it's tentatively planned a barbecue after the field day this year. So that'll be a really fun activity. Details to follow on that. That's still being worked on. Chair massages are also something that we're planning on doing with a faculty work session this semester. And of course, we'll be following up on something that was a big hit in years past, and that was putting together nice care packages for the teachers that are doing the off-campus education week. As you can imagine, that's a pretty trying week for them. So having a little care package put together by the Parents Association really goes a long way. So those are some of the things that we're doing. We also want to figure out how to do more of the helping hands aspect. If you're not familiar with Helping Hands, Kat Altschuler really spearheaded this in years past, where she worked with some of the lower school teachers to find out how we can help them to not bring so much work home, like, collating paper pages, cutting out the hands, all different kinds of things that they tend to take home. We were having parents come together and do some of those things at school. So it really helped the teachers out, and it also brought the parent community together. So I know I've met a lot of people that are on this call through the Helping Hands, and it was really a fun thing to do. So we look forward to doing things like that as well. So I'm going to turn it back to Nasim.
So then I'll just talk about the car show. In addition to it being a really fun event, it also is for a really good cause. So the proceeds from that raise money for the Patriot Scholarship, which give full tuition to a child of a current serving U.S. military or veteran. So I just know I was out and I met someone not related to Pine, and she said, "Oh, I keep driving by that sign. Should I come? And should I bring my parents?" And then we got to talking about it, and her dad was a veteran and he loves cars. And so that whole family is going to come and see it. And so that was a pretty cool thing to talk about outside of Pine. And John Boyer says there will be kids activities and a bounce house and food trucks and music. So it's usually a beautiful day. So I really encourage everyone to attend that. It's pretty awesome. And with that being said, I mean, all of these things are really important to the community that we are building at Pine in spite of the world around us and our limitations on being able to get together. But I really think that it will continue to grow. And I know that I've met so many people at Pine, and it feels really good to build the community. So I just would encourage everyone to get involved. You can, talk to any of us about it. Jess Signs will help you find a committee that you want to serve on. And again, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. It can be short, but it's really important to that Pine feeling that we all love so much. So thank you.
Thank you, Nasim and Danielle, for telling parents a little bit more about all the things that the Parents Association has been up to. And I feel like there's more bragging that you all could do when I think about what's helped the school so much. We love the treats, we love the showering of attention, but it's really the time, parents to having the school store open a couple mornings a week. We had parent volunteers do a tremendous job helping us clean our attic, just getting us organized and helping us, see what's available and what's not, and also decorating our campus, taking those decorations down. It's just the little things, like you're saying, Nasim and Danielle, that I think really do contribute to the community we want to create here. So I know I'm looking forward to the spring ahead when we will see, more time for families to gather together. And again, little nudge, if you do have some time and are open to volunteering, reach out to Danielle or Nasim, and Jessica Signs in our development office can also guide you and steer you. But we love to see parents on this campus getting involved. I'm going to wish each and every one of you a wonderful Friday and weekend ahead. Again, if you've got specific questions you'd like to address with me, just know that I welcome that. And I wish I had better news about the health of our community right now. But again, like, we're taking it day by day. We're all in this together. And here's hoping that your family stays healthy and safe. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.